Jill, what advice would you give to a future Wildcat?
I would say to come in and be really open-minded, explore the things that matter to you, and to just follow your curiosity, wanting to do work in immigration. And I never would have come into K-State knowing that I wanted to do that. And that was just purely from like taking classes that sounded interesting and picking topics for research papers that I wanted to learn more about. So I think coming in and just being curious and seeing what interests you and following your curiosity from there.
To find your people while you're on campus. There is very few very important people in my life right now that don't have a K-State connection, and it's amazing to me how connected this campus is to what I've gone on to do in my career. But find those people that will check in on you when you don't know you need checked in on, will cheer you on when you're up doing big things, and make sure to stay connected with them once you leave campus, because they really will be your family for the rest of your life.
So what is your favorite memory as a Wildcat?
I would have to say, outside of the big things like graduating is just hard to beat, but that day is kind of the culmination. So I would have to say tailgating at Bill Snyder Family Stadium, getting together with fellow Wildcats. And it wasn't always people that I went to school with. Sometimes it was out-of-towners. We a lot of times tailgated with people from opposing teams because that's how welcoming Manhattan is. And we'd have a lot of fun on weekends when we could kind of let loose and cheer on the Wildcats. And I think it's only grown and gotten better. Like I come as an adult now with my kids, and it's something really special to share with them.
I was thinking of a bunch of different memories, and then as we were driving through the quad, it reminded me of my freshman year. I was living in Fort Hall, and there was a snow day, and we had a snowball fight on the quad, and that was so much fun. So I think that's definitely a favorite memory that I don't even think I would have remembered if we hadn't just driven through the quad. Okay, what do you miss most about being a college student?
So I want to say flexible schedule, right? Because it was so much more fun to not have like so many things to attend to. Yes, or like, oh, I'm going to set myself up for 11 a.m. class this semester. It's going to be awesome. But that also came with learning how to juggle and learning how to do extracurriculars and how to time manage. And at the time, I thought it was flexibility, but it was really also a good life lesson. Now that I'm managing what I think is a very chaotic life, I would go back to it in a second. But I do miss, having like a Tuesday, Thursday schedule and a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's kind of fun. Being able to look at your schedule and know like, oh, I could plan on lunch at the Union on Tuesdays or lunch at Call Hall. That's what a lot of the ag students do. Lunch at Call Hall before my Wednesday lecture, and I just remember that being a lot of fun.
I think the thing that I miss most is I feel like being a student can be so chaotic, especially if you come in not knowing exactly what you want to do with your career. But I also feel like I miss so much like the privilege of being a student and just getting to explore like whatever sounds interesting to you. Like your whole job is just to like find what you're interested in and get to take classes in that. And I think that's the best thing about being in school. And it's something I got to experience then when I went back to law school, and it reminded me of how it felt to be a student and how cool it is to just like have this whole list of classes out in front of you, and you just get to like be like, that one sounds cool, like I'll try that. And that's like something that is unlike anything else in life, I think.
You can be anything.
Yeah.
It's wild to think about. Let's go back.
I know. Should we just go you can get your another doctorate and I'll go get my master's. Yeah, exactly.
I would go back and do like a totally random.
Yeah.
So I could take all
like
the
philosophy.
classes. Yeah. Maybe a totally different part of campus. How did K-State prepare you for post-school life?
Well, so I kind of like you mentioned, I was involved in a lot of different student groups and was in a sorority and had a lot of time commitments. And I feel like K-State definitely taught me to have kind of a lot of plates spinning and to manage all of that. And I also think it's not necessarily like K-State preparing me, but K-State gave me some of my like best friends in the whole world. And they are still my best friends to this day, and I truly do not know what I would do without them, and like I don't know how I would be an adult in this world if I didn't have them. So in that sense, I think K-State also prepared me, because it gave me like a support system, that I still have and I still rely on.
Me, the importance of showing up for people, and showing up for your employer or showing up for your friends and family. A lot of people in this world say or talk a lot and don't just do the very simple thing and show up, for the people that matter to them. And that started in a lot of my relationships at K-State. Friends that would show up, for like your presentation that you had to give, or a professor who would check in on you or anything like that. That instilled that in me, because for the first time, I grew up in a really small town, so for the first time I was really in a lot bigger world, and I still found people around every corner who were cheering me on and there for me, and that matters, and I try to do them proud by doing that for others as well.
Why did you choose K-State as an incoming freshman?
I don't know if I got to choose. My family, my parents are proud K-State graduates. They raised 4 kids who are all K-State graduates. Apparently we only marry K-State graduates also, and now we're all trying to like beg our children to come back, so that we can, raise the next generation of Wildcats. And so I'm just a proud, like, multi-generational, but also, it's really special to have an interest. I had an interest in studying agriculture. I knew I wanted to go into veterinary medicine at a young age. And it's really special to be a resident of Kansas and know that the very best choice is right in your backyard. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. My education at K-State, the College of Ag and the veterinary school, is second to nobody in this country. And that's a hill I'll die on, because not just because I bleed purple, but also because the proof is in the pudding, and we receive a top-notch education. And that's awesome that I can be a Kansas resident and say, you know what, I don't want to go anywhere else because I can get it right here.
Yeah, I think really similar for me. My mom was a Wildcat. My dad actually went to KU, but he did not convince me. But yeah, I visited K-State when I was a senior, and I just loved it. It felt like such a warm, welcoming family environment. And I knew, of course, that it was such a top-notch university, and that anything I could want to study, I was going to get a great education here. So how did your time at K-State help you in your career path?
My career specifically, I'm working with cattle. And so I'm a veterinarian for only cattle, which is the bomb because they're the best animals on earth. But we work really hard to provide a safe and wholesome food supply, and quite literally for the world, which is exciting work to do every day. But it's hard work and it's long days. And K-State is home to some of the best and brightest research and development done for beef cattle veterinarians. It's home to some of the best veterinarians, in my mind, come out of K-State for the beef cattle industry. And so I think that prepared me greatly. There's not a room that I'm in, I'll walk into a boardroom or I'll walk into a conference, and the fact that I graduated from K-State matters a great deal, because of the specific part of veterinary medicine that I'm involved in. And that's really exciting too. It's fun to wear purple all the time, but it's also really exciting for that to mean something. And it always means something when I'm at a veterinary conference or a beef industry conference, that they know the crazy K-Staters, and they tease us, but they also know that comes with a great deal of pride because of where our education came from, and the research that backs it. And just the developments that K-State has made in the beef cattle industry is really exciting. I work a lot in the dairy industry as well, and Kansas is becoming a big player in the dairy industry, so we're not typically known for our dairy cows, but it's a major economic driver for the state of Kansas. And so I'm proud of the work I do, but it matters a great deal that some of the connections and learning that I did here at K-State specifically helps me with that part of my job.
Yeah, I can confidently say that I would not be doing the career that I'm doing right now if it weren't for K-State. I learned through classes and research with the modern languages and sociology department about my interest in working with immigrant populations. And it was truly like incredible research and teaching that got me interested in working with that population, especially working as a research assistant for Dr. Garney in the sociology department. Like I said, we researched Mexican and Central American labor in agricultural communities in Kansas. And that labor is a huge source of labor for those communities, and kind of like how did this migration happen and what does it look like in communities where the demographics are changing really rapidly. And it was through those experiences that I learned I wanted to work with immigrant populations, and I would have never known that if it wasn't for coming to K-State. So
that's cool.
Yeah,
there's connections everywhere.
I know.
I want to come back.
I know, when I was driving into town I like got a little giddy because I don't get to come back very often. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's always so special to get to come back.
I spent some time at the vet school, and a lot of renovations have happened there. And I'm like, I want to go back to vet school. I don't actually want to go back to vet school, but I would love to be a student again
with this like amazing new. Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for going on a ride around campus. It was great to see all of the changes and improvements around Manhattan so far, and we're excited for the next couple of days. So I'll go Cats.
Go Cats. Yeah, thank you for joining us. We had the best time.